and sisters, and welcome to Return of the Earth Defenders Chapter 24 and Chapter 25. So, I was going to do a recording in the clubhouse, but since there's an event going on, I can't, and with not wanting to panic and waiting my mom and my sister and my brother-in-law to get back, I decided to take my recording out here. So, I spoke to Crystal Skies over a live stream. She, despite seeing half of my Return of the Earth Defenders trailer, she had no words. She literally had no words to describe it. But she did say it was interesting, and that's kind of the point. She also has smiled when she liked the theme song of it as well. But she couldn't react to anything more, so maybe next stream I'll tell her over Nightmare Godzilla, or she'll just do her own reaction videos of reacting one at a time to my chapters and prologue, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with her reacting to one at a time. You don't have to speed through it. It's not a speed run. You can just go slowly through it. Take your time if you want. So here we are, and we're literally like right outside. Like, no joke. We're like, this is like my entire backyard. Look at those tall pine trees. Just look at them. Just they're so tall. It's just like unbelievable. So anyway, let's get into it. Chapter 24, Bizzaro's Revenge. And my computer's like literally right next to my camera recording, so. Everyone had woken up from the fresh new day. The Earth Defenders took down the tree after their Christmas was over. Signs of Vinyl's pregnancy were starting to show, as she had quite a small bulge in her belly. That's true. Martha and Vinyl were happy. Anguirus and Flutterbat were married, and they were really loving toward each other, so much to the fact where if they get the chance, they would use a soundproof spell with Anguirus' sound breath, lock the doors, and just make the daylights out of each other. Oh, God! They really do love each other. Flutterbat apparently liked it rough, because usually after a while she'd come out with a dazed, derpy expression on her face, and having trouble walking correctly. Good God, Anguirus, you don't have to do it that rough. Needless to say, the enemies had taken it slow. Godzilla did not know why the mutants had been distanced for almost a full year. It's like they were waiting for the Earth Defenders to defeat the aliens, then show up to claim the glory. As Godzilla walked around to see if everything was okay, he felt a familiar presence. It felt like it was Superman, but something wasn't right about him. Godzilla shook these feelings off, but knew something wasn't right. Guys, I think Superman is still alive, and he's in our dimension seeking revenge, Godzilla told the Earth Defenders. They all gave Godzilla a puzzled look. Are you sure about that, Godzilla? Are you sure about that, G? Anguirus asked. The senses of nature can detect his presence. He's here to challenge me. He wants to destroy me, Godzilla answered. You need backup? Anguirus asked. I might need Martha's support, Godzilla answered. Alright, I'll help. Can someone comfort Vinyl for me while she's in her stages of pregnancy? Martha asked. I'll do it, Shifter volunteered, as she was familiar with something along these lines. 5 asteroids later, Bizzaro knew that Godzilla would come out, eventually. He really wanted to make sure he buried his enemy into the ground. Normally, Bizzaro would try to take down Batman first, but Godzilla was the creature that destroyed him and put him in this mindless form. He wanted revenge, and he wanted it badly. Godzilla stepped a few feet into the warehouse as he came face to face with Bizzaro. I wasn't sure you'd come, Superman. I thought for sure I destroyed you, Godzilla told him. Bizzaro will have revenge against you, Black Lizard, Bizzaro growled. Is that so? Well, then it's time I made sure that you never survive, Godzilla growled. Bizzaro fired his eye lasers as Godzilla used his radioactive fire. Both energy streams collided, but Godzilla proved to be far more powerful. Godzilla pushed forward, but Bizzaro used steel to take minimum damage as Godzilla won the blast. Forget it, Bizzaro. You're out of your league. You may have known your own old stomping grounds, but this is the dimension of the ancients. My dimension. And you can't take me on in my own home grounds, Godzilla snarled. Bizzaro will defeat you or die one last time, Bizzaro growled. So be it, Godzilla growled. The two clashed with strength and power, but Godzilla was proving to be far superior, as Bizzaro was beginning to lose his ground. With a simple attack, Bizzaro was stunned, and Godzilla finally played his final move. Mothra, now! Godzilla shouted, as Mothra launched webs from nowhere, tying Bizzaro into a bind, unable to move. Having fun yet? Godzilla shouted, as he stepped backward as far as he could and launched himself forward. Die! Godzilla shouted, as he slammed his feet and torso through Bizzaro, using his feet to blast his torso to bits, as his limbs were nothing but splattered blood, as his head fell into Godzilla's claws. Your time in the universe is over! Godzilla shouted in a dark reptilian voice as he crushed the detached head. Damn, Godzilla, that was brutal, Mothra told him. All in a day's work. Godzilla sighed as the two returned. 5 asteroids later. Godzilla and Mothra returned. Shifter was thankful to see both of them. Vina was throwing up some, or having her odd cravings, but she was okay when Mothra ran to check up on her. Vino, are you okay? Martha asked as he guided her out of the bathroom. I hate pregnancy sometimes, Vino groaned. Don't worry. Once our little one is born, everything will be okay, Anguirus told her. Still totally worth it, especially if it was with you, she cooed. They both shed an affectionate nuzzle. So Bizzaro came into our world for revenge, Anguirus asked. Yep, apparently, and he made sure it was a one-way trip, Godzilla explained. If Bizzaro entered our dimension to destroy you, who else is going to come through the portal to enact revenge on us? Anguirus asked. I don't know, but hopefully that never happens, Godzilla explained to them. 5 asteroids later. The portal opened up once more as a strange but fast blur of ice sped through. The creature that stepped through was a kaiju from another timeline. He had been in stasis for centuries, modifying his body so that he can defeat his all-time speedster rival, Rodan. He was also a pterodon crossed with a frostbird, and his speed was also what made him super fast. Yet, there was only one creature he wanted to take out, and his name was Rodan. With an icy flash and a roar, he went to find his quarry. That's gonna be interesting battle. Wow, this gonna be an interesting rival battle, I say so. Chapter 25. The Flame's Desire. Warning, naughtiness ensues. The Earth Defenders continued most of their lives trying to find trouble or just standing around bored out of their skulls. Spitfire was usually starting to act more playful toward Rodan. Rodan himself noticed, and Spitfire wanted to have some fun with him. Rodan was doing what he did best, flying for fun. Spitfire let out a happy sigh as she stretched her wings, as she soared up toward Rodan as the two flew around, having fun, giggling, and laughing. However, an icy blur out of nowhere knocked him to the side, then sped off. Sorry. Rodan growled as he saw the blur speed away. Rodan pursued in a fiery blaze. Rodan moved as fast as his speed could make him, and he collided with his quarry. They battled element after element, speed by speed, and Rodan finally knocked his rival off, who used his speed and ice powers, revealing himself. "You!" Rodan growled. "I was wondering when I would face you. I guess that day is today," the kaiju speedster grinned. "Who are you?" Rodan demanded. "I am Rakdan, the fastest ice speedster in the universe," Rakdan grinned. "I get it. You're a polar opposite of me, not an exact doppelganger, but someone who is as fast as me," Rodan answered. "You catch on pretty quick, especially for someone with speed," Rakdan smirked. "Let me guess, you're here to kill me because you want to prove in all the universe that you're faster?" Rodan hypothesized. "Exactly. I'm the better kaiju speedster, but why don't you let me kill you?" Rakdan growled. We could just settle with this with a race," Rakdan smiled. "You're good, I'm evil. It's a pretty simple concept." Rakdan smiled. "Then I'm gonna stop you from doing any evil in this dimension," Rodan warned. "Gotta catch me first," Rakdan smiled as he sped off. "Easy," Rodan scoffed as he sped off after him. "Ooh, ooh, yo, this is hype. Woo! Shadow and Sonic's rival, you got nothing on this." The two clashed, speeding through the city, making many objects explode or freeze. The two continued to smash their sides against each other. They both were doing their best to send one or another off from the highway they sped across, avoiding cars, buildings, or air traffic. Constantly, they really wanted to destroy each other until finally both of the kaiju speedsters' run had grinded to a halt. "I thought this was going to be easy, but now it seems you are no slouch at speed, and we both know we can't go on forever," Rakdan growled. "Maybe you want to defend your honor on the battlefield," Rodan grinned. "Name the time and place," Rakdan growled. "Speed Highway, 10:30 sharp. Their speed game, their speed rules," Rodan growled. "I'll meet you there, number 2, Rakdan growled as he sped off. Rodan smirked. After our next battle, you'll be number 2, Rodan growled as he sped off. 5 asteroids later. "You can't be serious," Spitfire said as she heard the situation. "I assure you I'm dead serious. I plan on destroying this pathetic element speedster and making sure he's behind bars," Rodan explained. "But Rodan, what if you get hurt? Or worse?" Spitfire stammered as she started to have tears in her eyes. "Don't worry, Spitfire, I'll be fine," Rodan told her. "Can I come along to make sure you're okay?" Spitfire asked. Rodan didn't want Spitfire to worry. After all, he loved her very much. "Okay, you can watch, Spitfire," Rodan told him. "I know the battle you challenged him to. The elemental speed race is no joke. I will be the judge of the race," Godzilla explained. "Thanks, Godzilla. Now I hopefully can beat this faker," Rodan growled as he prepared to face his opponent. 5 asteroids later. The two kaiju speedsters approached each other on the track, each of them wanting to defeat the other. Spitfire watched them from the side as she could see the hate and tension the two had for each other. Godzilla summoned a small elemental orb, one that looked fast and had a combination of icy blue and fiery red. This power-up will trigger your super forms. If each of you collect it 3 times, you'll both enter super forms and has an opportunity to wipe out your rival on the track. If you miss, you have to try and race to gather the orbs again so that you can prepare for another attack, Godzilla explained, as the two of them got into position, giving each other hateful looks as they warmed up their elemental speed. Remember, this is a race to the death, so whoever weakens or kills the other wins the race. Good luck to both of you, Godzilla stated. Thanks, I won't need it, they both said. And Rodan and Rockdan said in unison. The small orb zoomed off at high speeds as the others warmed up their speed. Ready? Go! Godzilla shouted as the two zoomed off as fast as they could, both of them bashing against each other. Their run continued as they raced for the orb. Rockdown absorbed the orb first, his special ability charging. They continued. Rodan used a smash to the side when Rockdown slowed down to get more of a grip on his speed. Rodan then absorbed the orb as he sped after it. A furious Rockdown used his speed to pummel Rodan backward as he absorbed the orb again. Rodan growled. That's the way you want to play? Alright then, let's play! Rodan growled as he engaged his speed again, plowing Rockdan off as he absorbed the orb once more. Both of them knew their abilities were almost charged as they approached the orb for the final time. Both of them grinded their boosts more to each other, trying to get that orb. Rockdan got there first as he activated his super form. Ice Rockdan was now charged up, turning to face his opponent. Great, this is going to be fun, Rodan thought to himself. Ice Rockdan created a blizzard around the entire track as he fired ice spikes at him, leaving a rainfall of destruction. Rodan avoided each blow with speed. Ice Rockdan growled, "Take this!" Ice Rockdan shouted as he blasted a huge amount of ice at his enemy. Rodan easily slid under it, barely dodging the blow. This speedster has potential to defeat me, but he rushed our battle too early, which means I'm much more skilled to take him down, Rodan thought to himself. Rockdan lost his super form as he went back, ready to try again. Rodan knew this was his move, and he took it. Rodan sped ahead as Rockdan struggled to maintain his speed after using a lot of energy. Rodan absorbed the final power-up as he activated his super form. Fire Rodan was using his power to be unstoppable. Rodan used his speed to catch up to Rockdan, who was running as fast as possible, flying as fast as possible. Rodan fired his fire blasts, which were effectively slowing him down. Rodan caught up to Rockdan as he used his firing boost to drain him of his powers. Rockdan was knocked 50 feet into the air, his body doing a complete somersault as he landed with brute force, slamming as the impact broke bone and made Rockdan panting and groaning in pain as blood seeped to the ground. Rockdan forced himself to get up, but due to his wounds, he could barely stand. Fire Rodan lowered himself to the ground as he looked at Rockdan. Turning off his super form, Rodan shook his head. You show much potential to be my rival, Rockdan, but you lack experience. Hang on a minute. And we're back. so much potential to beat my rival Rockdon, but you lack experience, which is why your super form only lasted a few seconds. You rushed your training. You were so obsessed with beating me that you forgot that training is what makes you better. You made your speed training the fast way out. It took me years of experience, practice, and training to be as fast as me. And I did this through experience. No shortcuts. Oh, excuse me, Rodan explained. Until you learn that lesson, Rockdon, I will always be faster than you, Rodan said as he dragged the injured Rockdon by the neck and brought him back to where the race started. Spitfire was happy to see that Rodan was okay, as Rodan threw his prisoner to Godzilla. Get this loser in a cell, Rodan grumbled. Mark my words, Rodan. I will destroy you one day, Rockdon spat. Rodan leaning close, giving his rival a dead and hateful look in his eyes. I'm counting on it, and I'll be there to stop you, Rodan growled, as he saw Rockdon being dragged away. You won, Spitfire said as she approached Rodan, giving him a hug. Yeah, I did, Rodan breathed. Do you mind of us going on a private flight? Just the two? If we go on a private flight, just the two of us? Spitfire asked. Rodan smiled. We have been having our last beautiful date flights for a while. You know I love you, Spitfire. Do you really think I'm gonna say no? Rodan asked. Spitfire giggled as she mentioned for him to wait as she went to get changed. 5 asteroids later. Spitfire was wearing her Wonderbolt's uniform that she had when she was the captain of a squadron. Spitfire Rodan soared through the night sky, laughing and having a good time. I enjoy being up here with you, Spitfire sighed happily as they soared through the night sky. Yeah, it's very beautiful up here, especially with you, Rodan replied, making Spitfire blush. Ho ho ho, you got her there. I still think I'm fast. Let's see if you can catch me, Spitfire giggled as she zoomed off, giving Rodan a playful look. Rodan grinned mischievously. I think someone forgot who's fast. Time to remind her, Rodan grinned as he sped after her using his super speed. Spitfire let out a squeak as she tried to escape from him. However, Rodan finally caught her, tackling her on a cloud, tickling Spitfire as she giggled, squirming. Okay, Uncle, please stop. Spitfire laughed as Rodan was on top of her. Rodan then had a better idea, as he gave Spitfire a kiss on her neck, and lifting a soft moan from her as he kissed her most sensitive spot on her neck. Don't stop, Spitfire moaned. Rodan then looked at her and smirked. Stop, don't stop, take your pick, he replied sarcastically. Oh, you, Spitfire shouted as she slapped his winged arm. Ow, Rodan cried. The two then shared a small laugh as they looked into each other's eyes, smiling. Spitfire blew him a kiss with a seductive wink. Rodan then got closer as their lips met. Rodan gave her a passionate kiss as Spitfire moaned deeply, enjoying his lips, and just him in general. The two then separated from the kiss, panting for air. Spitfire then gave him bedroom eyes as she spoke. Oh no. Rodan, I love you very much for these past few days. Ooh, and I want to ask, and after what just happened with Rockdon, there's a bug on my windshield. Happened with Rockdon. I want to ask you something, Spitfire began. Rodan, will you marry me by kaiju laws? Spitfire asked. Rodan was a bit shocked, but also happy. Spitfire, I was respectful to your flight skills from when we first met. And now I realize that after all the flight dates we have, the more I spend time with you, I love you. And yes, I do want to marry you, Rodan replied as the two kissed. Then, can we do it right now? Spitfire asked. On a cloud? I mean, I have to see it off with a fire shield to give us privacy, but are you sure? Well, won't a plane come by and smash right into us as we're... Spitfire began, but Rodan interrupted her. No, these are low-density clouds, almost like a fog, except on a bit higher private level. And besides, no planes or helicopters can travel to where we are, Rodan explained. Then yes, I want to do it on this cloud. Oh, God! Fire whispered. Rodan nodded as he used his fiery bubble to shield any shadows and sound. The two locked lips again, their kiss becoming more passionate as Spitfire began to moan into the kiss. Soon they broke the kiss for air. Spitfire began to unzip her flight suit as she revealed to Rodan her naked body. Oh, God, here we go! Rodan liked the fiery yellow he saw. Her breasts were quite big, and luckily her magic help from vinyl kept her from getting any back problems. Like what you see? Spitfire asked. Spitfire, you are beautiful, both in heart and body, Rodan told her, which made Spitfire blush. The two then kissed again, and after breathing and panting as they separated for air. Rat me, Spitfire moaned as the kiss ended. Oh, good Lord! Rodan did just that as the rest of the night was filled with the small, muffled, and from Rodan, while Spitfire made loud, muffled moans, and made muffled moans, and loud, unmuffled moans, and demands which made her moan, and demands which made her moan even more. Good God! Many hours passed by, as her suit was a bit of a mess. Ew, and so were the two. Good Lord! Spitfire looked at her new wedding ring, as she and Rodan were now mates forever. Spitfire then gave Rodan a quick kiss, both of them exhausted from their mating. Good night. I love you, Spitfire panted out. Rodan clutched the warm Spitfire as he replied. I love you too, Rodan told her, as the two fell asleep in each other's arms. Morning came as the two woke up, happy to start their new life. Spitfire and Rodan washed up as they quickly snuck back home, and without being noticed, and went to wash Spitfire's suit and themselves. Rodan had one more plan that he was going to put in motion. 5 asteroids later. Spitfire was working on paperwork in her office at the downstairs building that they lived in. Rodan had planned out everything. He wanted to spend some time with his wife in the best way possible, and he knew why. It had been 3 days since their night on the clouds, and he knew his plan. Rodan had arrived many minutes early. Perfect. His luck was on a roll. He then snuck past the guards who were on the outside. He finally disguised himself as a human guard, thanks to his speed. He finally approached the guard who had been guarding the place. Rodan had to confirm everything. He wondered if this guard was going to do as he requested from Morgan. The guard looked at him and spoke. Fire, the guard spoke. Storm, Rodan replied, using the code name he replied. All yours, sir. Here, these small devices will make you and Spitfire invisible to the cameras. Lock the doors, and we will muffle any sounds in the room, the guard told him. Thanks, Rodan replied. All right, sir. Your permanent guarding shift starts now. Let me know when you're done, the guard replied. Of course, Rodan replied. He then entered Spitfire's new office. She wasn't there. Perfect. She would arrive soon and he could easily hide himself. No guards at the door for a while, no cameras, no one being suspicious, just him and his wife Spitfire, just as he planned. Oh, we better stop there for now. Be right back. This is just a cut. And we're back. We're back. Rodan waited a while before Spitfire entered, wearing her Commander Wonderbolt's uniform, and closed the door behind her. Rodan silently threw the devices into position, locking the door, adjusting the cameras so nobody could see them, and silenced the room. Rodan came out of his hiding place as it was time to do what he came here to do. You know, your security isn't as impressive as it seems, Commander, Rodan said in an amused voice. Spitfire let out a smile, in shock as she saw Rodan. How did you get inside this office? Spitfire shouted in shock. Oh, I have my ways. Besides, why else would I come here if I didn't come to give you this? Rodan spoke as he sunk his beak-like lips into Spitfire's sensitive spot on her neck, making her arch her back and moan. Ooh, we've got about an hour before those orbs wear off. And by orb she means like the speed stuff. Basically the soundproof spell, the camera stuff, basically everything he set up to make them alone. Spitfire said with bedroom eyes. Spitfire dropped her paperwork and duffel bag, as she had other pressing matters to take care of. Spitfire guided Rodan to a nearby bench as she gave her rear end a small jiggle as she swayed her hips seductively. As they got to the bench, Spitfire unzipped her Wonderbolt suit, exposing her naked body to Rodan as he once more showed her his equipment to her. The two kissed each other passionately as Rodan pulled her close. She moaned into the kiss. The two then separated as Spitfire spoke, sneaking into a highly secure office to Retta Superior. Officer? Spitfire gasped, as she felt how much she wanted to mate with Rodan. Well then, if you want, I'll just leave. Rodan said as he began to walk away. Spitfire quickly grabbed him and pulled him close. No! Please, Rodan, I need this. I still haven't felt more from you for what we did it on that cloud. Please let me, Spitfire gasped. Oh, God! Yeah, when she says no, it just grabs you. You know she wants it. Yes. Rodan did as she wished, as the room was filled with Rodan's groans and Spitfire's exotic moans. A few hours passed by as the two were waking up. As Rodan was on top of her, Rodan smiled as he lay on her back, clutching Spitfire close to her. Spitfire began to wake up. That was amazing. And I want to go another round. Spitfire grinned. You do? Rodan asked. Yes, but give me a minute, Spitfire said, as she began to change after they had cleaned themselves off. And the bench. 5 asteroids later, Spitfire had come out as she changed into a black bikini. Rodan was stunned at how hypnotic she looked. Spitfire gave herself a twirl in her bathing suit as she showed it off to him. Like what you see? Spitfire asked. Wow, Spitfire, you look beautiful. I didn't know black was your favorite color, Rodan asked. Spitfire giggled. Actually, my favorite color is the fiery crimson. I wore this because it made me look attractive. And surprisingly, it's quite comfy, Spitfire told him. So how is this going to be a round 2, Rodan asked. There's a pool indoors that I keep, and I want you to join me. Spitfire smiled as Rodan nodded. He followed her. The two entered the pool as they began giving each other passionate kisses. Rodan then used his claws to tussle Spitfire's breasts and lifting a moan from her. I love you so much, Rodan, Spitfire told him. I love you too, Spitfire, Rodan replied. The two kissed as Spitfire slowly took off her bikini, revealing her naked body to Rodan's eyes once more. Please, I want to show you how much I love you. So please ravage me like the beast you are, Spitfire moans. Here we go again! Here we go again! I will, but this time I'm using my super form, and a little help from your super speed to do it, Rodan grinned. Spitfire's eyes widened as she wanted Rodan to do that. A small pool-filled room was filled with Rodan's groans, and Spitfire's moans as she moaned out Rodan's name. Many hours passed by as they snuggled each other, waking up after their mating session. Oh, Rodan, you make me so happy, in body and my heart, Spitfire sighed. I'm glad that we met. I'm glad that we recently got married, Rodan told her. Now we can enjoy our lives together. Spitfire hummed as they got dressed and made sure that they were clean as they left. And that's going to end this chapter. If you all enjoyed, this is going to be Predator 2525 signing off.